We are going to spend some time today in our coffee lecture talking about some recent enhancements to the full-text patent files from the Indian and Korean patent offices. As we go through, I'll point some of these things out, but so a lot of these recent enhancements are have been done in an effort to bring these two important full-text patent files into alignment with other. For those who've been following, we've been doing some enhancements to our full-text patent files regularly over the last little bit to add some new search fields, to add some new functionality to them. And this coffee lecture is to point out that we have added some of these new enhancements to the Indian and Korean full-text files. So we'll talk today about the patent status indicator, about ultimate owner information, and about some additional content and search enhancements to these two files. We'll start with the patent status indicator. Folks may already be familiar with patent status indicator because it's new to IN full and KR full, but it is not new to CAS STNext. The patent status indicator is already available in multiple databases. You can see here CA+, INPADOC, other full text patent files. For those who may not be familiar with it, the patent status indicator we added within the recent memory. It's a dynamically updated field in patent records that allows searchers to determine whether a patent is alive or dead. So this is, again, this is predictive data over the lifetime of the patent based on various events that can change whether or not a patent is in force. So this is useful, of course, for FTO searches, for other IP searches, but it's also just worth noting that that gives us sort of like, again, that predictive data at a glance. Like we could go through more specifically and dig into the more granular data that would help us to determine if a patent's in force. But this makes it easy to see at a glance, and it gives us that indicator in some of our commonly used display formats. So the way that the patent status indicator is applied here is that each application in these databases now includes the status indicator field, that is /STI. Status indicator is again the values for those flags that appear depending on how events in the patent's life cycle change. We gather that information from the INPADOC DB data. It's the world's largest collection of legal status information, and the corresponding Gazette dates with that. By default, if we get a new document that's not already in our INPADOC DB file, we consider that alive. For right now, for IN full and KR full, the available entries vary. Right now, the KR full applications may be designated alive, dead, or transitional if they're in a phase where it's not as easy to isolate the specific alive or dead. And at this point, IN full applications may be designated alive or dead. So no transitional or indeterminate for those. And that has to do with the way the data comes to us. So what we can provide for these patent authorities is either again, alive or dead for both. And then you may also see transitional in KR full applications for those documents that are in the process of moving from one to the other. Another field that's worth looking at here is the status established date, sorry, that's hard to say, or the /STED field, which provides the date on which the status was either initially calculated or most recently changed. As mentioned, this is a dynamically updated field. It does not provide like a transactional history. You're not going to be able to see it was alive here and now it's dead with those dates. We only see the most current entry because, again, it's meant to be a dynamically updated current status indicator for each of these applications. When we can use this in a couple different ways. One of the ways that we might use this is to find specifically lapsed IP from an organization. So we search for, I just did a basic keyword search for allosteric modulators, put in a patent assignee to link those to. And notice when I say and dead/STI, that will bring back only those documents with, with these keywords assigned to this patent assignee that have been indicated that they are no longer in force. And we indicate that by saying only those that have expired or lapsed. There are other ways we can get to this, like an IMPA.db, but this makes it possible to get to this type of information in our full text files, which is a big benefit to those data, because folks know that that searching in full text patent files has challenges, has historically had even more challenges than it has now. But we at STN have really worked hard in the last few years to make our full text data more accessible and more efficiently searched. So this is one of those ways that we can do that. If we search for, again, a keyword, patent assignee, and add on that status indicator to the end, then we can see in those, in those documents how our hit term highlighting comes through. You can see our patent assignee highlighted there. Obviously, we're not looking at an abstract, so we're not seeing our keyword terms, but you can see there in the STI field that this document is considered dead. So you can see that the hit term highlighting does travel with this information as well, and you will see that in the patent information part of the record. If we want, another thing that we can do with these is if we don't immediately append the status indicator to this, we can use the status indicator and the analyze command, or the analyze tool, to get a comprehensive view of the organization's intellectual property in this particular, again, associated with these particular keywords, allosteric modulators in this case. If we just do a basic search, and then from the little bar graph that you see, histogram there, next to the answer set, if we hover over that, you'll see analyze results. When we select that histogram and pull up the analyze results window, we are able to select up to 2 fields to analyze. And you'll notice here that I chose one that's already provided in the default fields, so publication year, just to see we can get these in order. We don't have to select 2 fields. We could just select one, but here, just again to add more information to our analysis, I then add our custom analyze field, because the status indicator is not one of the sort of standard 5 that are always available at the top of that list, but because it exists in this database, we can add any custom field there, and when we analyze that information, we get a couple of things. So we selected those two data fields, including in our case STI, which is a custom field. And when we do that, you can see that STNext creates a sort of our little preview table over there showing the patent status indicator by year. So we've got years starting in 2014 going up to 2025. In our columns there, we have the values for the patent status indicators, which in this case are either alive or dead. And then when we analyze that, you can see that again, going backwards in time, this is sort of what we would expect to see, right? That our most current patents are the ones most likely to still be in force, and the older ones may have lapsed at this point. So what happens when we do this? This is like the analyze wizard, but for those who have done command line analysis as well, it's worth pointing out that the analyze and tabulate commands are being performed by STN automatically when we're using this feature. And if we go over into our transcript, we'll see that. So when we select the fields and hit the button that says, proceed or analyze, what is actually happening is the system is running these commands in the background, and that will show in your transcript. So, again, we see this table, but then we're also going to have sort of the analog version of that put into our transcript, so you can see exactly what steps were followed to generate that output. It's worth noting that if we don't want to just have the graphic there, that we can also display just the delimited data from that. So we can, we don't have to display it in graphic format. We can also just get a delimited list, semicolon delimited list of years with their patent status indicators in there. So if we're exporting that to another analysis file, another visualization program, we're able to do that as well. From patent status indicator, we'll move on to ultimate owner information and the ways that we help to identify the current owner of a patent. So within the last few years, we have added in these two ultimate owner fields, so ultimate owner and ultimate owner standardized. You can see those. And the reason that we have this information in here is, of course, that very, very often the original owner of a patent may not be the current owner of a patent, whether through company name changes, mergers and acquisitions, various ways that the intellectual property of one organization might change to a different organization or have a different assigned name. So our ultimate owner data is intended to show the most recent owner of IP rights for an invention, even when that differs from the original patent assignee. So this currently is already available in several other files. As mentioned, these additions to ION full and KR full are building on updates that we've made to other databases over the last several years, including, again, CA+, SmartPat, IMPADoc, other full text files. We get this data from PatentSite through their manual and algorithmic curation of mergers and acquisitions and IP ownership. However, as we do very often at STN, we have made a pretty significant effort to reduce spelling errors and to provide further standardization of that data. That is something that we are quite experienced at and do regularly. It's worth noting that this is, again, like the patent status indicator, this is not meant to show the historical change. It's not going to give you a life cycle history or a timeline of the transfer of IP rights if something has been transferred multiple times. It's updated weekly, but it's only meant to provide the most recent owner. This is already available in these databases. You may have already started to see it, but now if you didn't realize what those fields were for, this will give us more information about that. One of the ways that we might use this is to track ownership of a patent. So like, for instance, if we search right now for Amgen/UO, so as the ultimate owner, where those documents were not originally assigned to Amgen as a patent assignee. So this is what patent rights has this company acquired? If we were just looking at the original patent assignee, we'd get a more limited set. But we can see that there are many examples of intellectual property that's been acquired by this company, where the patent assignee field differs from the ultimate owner. Again, we can use our analyze command to see where all this acquired IP came from. If we search, we look in that set for, again, ultimate owner assigned to this person that was not assigned to them originally. We get those documents out. There are quite a few of them. When we do an analysis on the patent assignee field, so that original assignee, then we can see where that acquired IP came from. So here you see when we do that, we get an ordered list of the various original assignees of these documents, and we can see, get a big picture of where these IP acquisitions have come from, where the original rights were assigned, and how they have gotten to this place now. Again, ultimate owner information is now available in IN full and KR full. I'm just going to show some examples of how we might access that and use it. I went back to our allosteric modulator concept. In this case, I'm just going to look to see if I can find any documents with that concept assigned currently, ultimately, to Bayer in either the ultimate owner or the ultimate owner standardized field. When I do that, obviously, we get our answer set L20, which gives us those documents with that ultimate owner designation. We can obviously we can look at these now. We could also continue to use the additional information that we've learned. So like here, we're going to narrow down our answer set L20 by also adding in a patent status indicator. So not only do we want to see the all of the patents related to this concept currently owned by this assignee, but we also want to know which of those are currently still in force. We do that, we get enters at L21 with 61 documents. When we look through those, we see several things. We're going to see the hit term highlighting that transfers through to our ultimate owner. In this case, we can look up at the patent assignee field and see that the original assignee was also this. So this is not a document whose ownership has changed, or an invention whose ownership has changed, but you can see where those two data fields work together, so we can find that information when assignments and when ownership of a patent has changed. And then further down in the STI field, we can see confirmation listed as patent. I often use the keyword in context display format to show where we might find those keyword information, because obviously we're probably not going to find those there are keyword concepts in the introductory patent information. It's possible we might see them in a title or in the part of the abstract that we display, but more likely, especially with pretty generic terms like this that I use to create the search strategy, more likely they're going to come in sort of the text of the patent itself, and using keyword in context, which shows our hit terms as well as a range of terms around those in and the context in which they're being mentioned. So you can see that when we display both the patent information to get those initial hit terms, and then when we display a couple of records in keyword in context form, then we can also see our, again, our subject terms coming up. And with the combination of those, it lets us know that this document meets the requirements of our search query. The next thing that I want to talk about, in addition to the patent status indicator and ultimate owner information, are some content enhancements to these two databases. Once again, these are things that have been added to other databases in recent history. So we are bringing these two databases, India Full and Korea Full, into alignment with the other full text patent files, which is great because very often these are used in multi-file searches together with other full text patent files. So this will help provide more relevant results by adding these additional search content fields and more efficient searching. So moving forward, new records to these databases will always contain these fields, and they've been added to the back file as well. If you would like to see specific release information about the recent updates in either of these files, you can always type help change or help content, and that will give a summary of the changes for these content enhancements that come up. But we're going to go over them in the next several slides as well. First, we have some new search fields. So you can see those here in the box on the right-hand side of the slide. We'll show most of these as we go through. I don't think we'll show every single one of these, but we will definitely spend time looking at the claim group field. So you can see here we've got claim.ic for independent claims, claim.cg for claim group, detailed description in English, useful when original languages are, when we're looking at, for instance, the Korean full text patent file, it's nice to have that additional detailed description in English so that we don't need to find other ways to translate. Standardized and normalized patent assignees, key terms. We've already mentioned the ultimate owner and ultimate owner standardized, as well as these related publication information fields. We'll talk about what each of these do, or what most of these do as we go through. I'll also mention that, is particularly with the new claim search fields, feel free to type in help claims at the command prompt, and you will get sort of the official release about that information. Also added, the latest numeric property search version has now been enabled here. Again, this is not intended to be an instruction session on numeric property searching, but most of our full text files have the latest numeric property search version available, which makes it much easier to extract meaningful data from numeric values that come from patents. even in full text situations. If you would like more information on that, please contact us. We definitely have several training sessions that focus entirely on numeric property searching. So this is just meant to be an overview here. If you need more information about how to perform numeric property searching, let me know, and I will happily point you to that content, or we can set up training sessions for that. And as mentioned, in addition, related publication information has been added as well. I want to talk about the claim group for a minute, because one of the challenges of full text searching has always been the number of words. You know, when you have the full text of an original document, you're not only getting the the text from the portions of the patent that we would typically go to find our most relevant information, claim fields and the like, but we're also getting the full text of the background and the description and all of the the other parts that adds a lot of word noise. Searching claims in patent full text files has also been a little complicated. Just again, lots of words and sometimes lots of claims. So the claim group index was created, and this is clm.cg, which allows us to search in a claim group. So when we search claim.cg, it will search for the stuff that we're looking for only within a group of an independent claim and its own dependent claims. So we want them to be in the same claim group if we're trying to put multiple concepts together. That's really useful rather than searching across all of the claims. Like if we just search /CLM, that searches across all claims in the document, and of course we know there can be many. And if we're searching for multiple concepts and trying to link them, it's useful to be able to do so within that claim group, because it's going to add a level of precision to our search results. It's going to eliminate some of that noise that we would get by searching in all claims. However, we'll also talk about, like we've also recommend ways to search within a single claim, but sometimes we want an intermediate step. So this is it. If we don't want to search in all the claims, because that's giving us way too much information, way too much noise, and less relevant results, but we don't necessarily want to limit using, in the text of just a single numbered claim. This gives us some flexibility within there. You can see which documents have this available by looking in the field availability field for claim group. And as mentioned, the claim group search itself is clm.cg. I want to talk about a little bit in terms of other tips and tricks that we can add in for using keyword searching in these full text files, because as people use features like the claim groups and some of these additional added fields to do more searching in full text, it's worth remembering some of our best practices for keyword searching, but particularly keyword searching in full text. And we want to make sure that first we're being descriptive, use precise, specific terms for technical features. Again, the broader our terms are, the more likely we are to return irrelevant results. Synonyms and variants, this is sort of Search Strategy Building 101. We need to make sure that we are considering a variety of terms that might cover the same technology or the same concept as we create our search strategies. We need to remember how our Boolean operators work and how to implement them. Notice that we were showing and or here. We don't often recommend using not as part of a keyword strategy, but of course it's available. And then of course we use other search refinements to narrow down on other search index fields in order to narrow down search results in a full text file. I also want to remind that, we've talked about claim group, where we can search within a group of an independent claim and its own dependent claims. However, sometimes we may want to search within the text of a single numbered claim. And I'd like to remind folks that the way that we do that within STNext and full text files and others is to use the S operator, which of course normally in sort of basic, we tend to think of that as standing for sentence. But it's worth noting that the S operator in full text patent files limits those terms to, we can, if we search in the claims field and we link terms with the S operator, it will search for those terms linked together within the same numbered claim. So we have some flexibility for searching in in claim text at all, but of course, especially when we're talking about claim text in full text patent files, because as mentioned, the problems of every word being indexed, when we're searching for these, allows us to we implement things like claim group and using the S operator search within a single numbered claim to sort of overcome some of the challenges of searching for claims text within a full text document. I also want to bring us back briefly to the key terms field as a reminder of how we might also use our full text patent databases and features within those to help retrieve more relevant results and enhance our searching. So key terms are available in our full text patent databases. As most folks know, a lot of our patent databases are from collections that are abstracted and indexed and have value added to them by human indexers. Like those are some of our most popular and familiar files because that addition of data makes them easier to search and makes it easier to find that documentation. Previously in full text files, this has been challenging, as I've mentioned throughout. Within recent years, we have added key terms to these databases to help us get better results out of our search. So these are noun phrases between 1 and 5 words that we extract algorithmically from all English language text fields, so title, abstract, claims, description, for patent applications, and then they get sorted according to their relevance with a maximum of key terms, 30 key terms per record. So we can analyze these to find additional concepts or new aspects. We might expand or contract our search strategy based on what we find. But so there, again, these are not. This is not controlled vocabulary. This is not the lexicon. This is not. This is not like a system of indexing. But it's sort of like, for instance, some of our databases have supplementary terms, which are, key terms, key, term concepts that come up regularly that may not be expressed in controlled vocabulary. Key terms is similar to that for full text patent files. So the search field that those are listed in is the KT field. And those key terms are automatically displayed in the brief and max formats for these databases as well. So again, this is not controlled indexing, but these are definitely also ways that you can leverage the properties of these databases to really get more information out of these full text patent files. A lot of information, but hopefully what we're taking home today is that there are new changes to IANFull and KRFull that are similar to changes and updates that we've added into our other full text patent databases over the recent past, which bring these files into harmony with the full collection of patent full text files. Included in this new information and changes are the patent status indicator, which is going to provide us a sort of dynamically updated predictive field over the course of the patent's life cycle as to whether or not it is alive or dead. The ultimate owner information that we've added helps us track acquisition, mergers, changing ownership of patent rights, and movement of intellectual property between organizations. In addition, we've covered some new search fields and functions that help to bring IANFull and KRFull into, again, full alignment with other text files, making them more useful for our full text, for searching, particularly in our multi-file, in a multi-file environment.